Welcome once again for the second time tonight to the Nexus Gaming Series. We have another Division B matchup here. This one going to be featuring RollOne Esports versus Lurk Patrol. This is taken out west, Division B West. I am joined this time by my co-caster and teammate Aura. Aura, how you doing?
Hello, I'm fantastic. I was just saying how I got my bowl icing ready, and I'm ready to get the season started.
I'm looking forward to it as well. So, with this, we are going to start first on Tomb of the Spider Queen. That's going to be map 1. This was the choice of RollOne Esports. Lurk Patrol NA went ahead and took it to Infernal Shrine. So Valera going to be the first ban, though. This is a new meta we live in. A brave new meta.
Yeah, Valera's definitely starting to creep up there. I have found though that her burst is very much not as significant once you pull her out of stealth. So I still think that that's a pretty good way to counter her if you're not afraid of those stealthies since the changes.
Well, it seems Lurk Patrol still is. Now, Lucio being banned. Now, I was just casting with Fireteam, who's a very good player. He's got a really good open division team. They're trying to make it to the big leagues. And he was straight up saying that Lucio is the best support right now. So I think it's a good ban, but then there we have the best tank. Gonna be the first choice.
Yeah, ETC definitely, he was in the meta originally, got out of the meta, and now he's right back in there.
And he's incredibly strong right now. I mean, I will be surprised if he has lower than a 95% participation rate in NGS this season. Certainly in Division A and B. But we're going to see a Kel'Thas Malfurion counter. So getting some wave clear, getting a lot of blow-up potential, but a little bit squishy of a backline. And wow, that was a quick pick.
Yes. And that Malthael Ana, that was a meta as soon as Ana came out, so it's cool to see that is still a potential threat as we begin the season. What a great, interesting way to start it off to see if it's gonna work out.
Yeah, and for context, normally Mathael's Q has a 2-second cooldown, while Nano boosted 0.8. Add that
Yes.
to Tormented Souls.
And
And it
continuous
hurts
healing.
very bad. It hurts very badly. So you have to immediately think of, how do we counter this? Do we need an Anubarak? Do we need a Brightwing with an Emerald Wind? We need one of those things. And hopefully we'll see RollOne Esports pick that. They are going to ban out the Jaina to try to avoid both another Nano target, but also a mage who's actually really improved her status in the meta of late. And there's the Anubarak ban. This draft is going so quick.
Yeah, and I do think the noob is the one thing, like, things counter Malthael, but that's huge to Cocoon at the same time. I do think Tyrael Sank still has a good place here, though, and seeing as they haven't picked up any tanks or soul lane or anything like that, I think they should really look into that potential.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to... I mean, with the Mathael in the solo lane, you can go to a few different directions to kind of thwart it. Probably the most enticing to me right now is Alarak. Just because you can also have the silence handy for the post 10 carnage that nano boosted souls can bring.
Yeah,
But then you're a little bit squishy on the front line with what you've already drafted.
right. And Alarak, I've noticed he's a pretty popular pick on this map because it's so small. That's why I also like that ETC for the quick ganks.
Yeah. And there's Stitch's Arthas. The Arthas pick is interesting. Arthas is very, very much going to struggle into Mathael in the solo lane. Actually, Stitches may do a little bit better just because he can clear the lane kind of safely with his slam, but we are going to see a double support with an Uther coming out, so the more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess.
Yeah, well, it is interesting that they picked two such beefy tanks into an already Malthael. Like, I don't know what the plan was for that originally, since he does percentage-based damage, but...
Well, Stitches can certainly make it difficult for the enemy team to engage. You can get the Hook Gorge, and with the Twilight Dream, you can absolutely secure a kill on the Gorge target. And Arthas can even add a root. We are going to see a Vala. I'm not overly surprised by you just getting more damage out. It's going to be a solo frontline ETC into some pretty high damage, but it's a strong double support combo, and certainly gonna make Mathael pretty beefy.
I feel like
Let me
it's gonna
just
be.
clarify real quick to no Arthas mount. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking it's gonna be pretty interesting to see this matchup as well because Malthael, although he counters both the Stitches and Arthas, that's a pretty beefy front line to protect the Kel'Thas. So if he chooses to go convection stacks, and a Hanzo, that'll definitely be interesting because on the side of red team, they're a bit squishy with the Ana Malthael Vala, but I think that's probably why they chose to do the double support.
The Hanzo is interesting. So he actually does have very strong wave clear after level 4. He could be the solo laner. He actually could be. After level 4, he clears waves very quickly. And then you also have the ultimate that can interrupt ETC's Mosh. So it's a very intriguing choice to me, but they still don't have anything to disengage the Mathael outside of Twilight Dream.
Well, and the only thing I'm thinking of is, although he does have good wave clear on Hanzo, this map has very little walls in that bottom lane. So I don't know how efficiently he's going to be able to do that, because I know the angles are kind of janky in some spots.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We will see as we head here in the Tomb of the Spider Queen. As far as these two teams, RollOne Esports has actually kind of descended from a line of NGS teams last season as Dadforce Esports. Pretty moderate Division B team. Had some good days, had some bad. But we'll see if they have one of their good as we jump in here. Into map 1, Tomb of the Spider Queen. RollOne Esports versus Lurk Patrol NA. On RollOne Esports, the blue team, you got Zad on Stitches. Toph's gonna be on Malfurion. MJ Doom gonna be trying to bring the Doom on that Kel'Thas. Velvet gonna be playing the Hanzo, and Big Beard playing a hero without a beard. He should have played Malfurion on Arthas. Go ahead and introduce Lurk Patrol for us.
Alrighty, Lurk Patrol. Oh man, I should have really read these names before I went ahead. We got Ace on Uther, Ektar on Ana, Radic on ETC, FPS Nate on the Vala, and Manbai going on the Malthael.
We're seeing a slam build come out of Stitches. Kel'Thas not going for the stacking quest. Arthas going to take that extremely good block. Moonfire talent. Malfurion as ETC comes in and immediately realizes that was a mistake. Actually, it was a Stitches hook and power slid out. Really good hook there. Almost had the blow-up combo. And that's something that, as Dadforce, they actually had a really good ability to get early kills. So we'll have to keep an eye if they're able to do that again.
Yeah, and I have mixed feelings about the not going convection. I think it's smart because they have that, even though they're squishy, very quick DPSing backline, but at the same time I feel like he's missing out because he has such a good frontline follow-up into stuns, roots, and everything to be able to land it well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Right now, though, Ana getting hooked, good root follow-up, and that communication between Zad and Tophs, it's really critical, and it's such a good combo. But they're going to have to keep an eye on this bot lane. Arthas is losing it, and not losing it lightly. So it's just, at some point, they're going to have to rotate down and try to relieve some of that pressure. Meanwhile, the team's competing in this mid lane, even though the wave's already cleared, now starting to rotate away. Get the hook onto Ektar. There's the gravity lapse into the root. Ektar going to be able to squeak away. Having that second support there really helping out, because if Ektar did not get that armor from Uther, that would have been one dead Ana.
Yeah, and definitely comparative. Lurk Patrol definitely has a lot less wave clear at the moment because of doing the dual support. So I feel like their rotations are going to be pinged upon, as we've seen now a few different times.
And I think it's something that, especially right now, I think it's something that, and actually they are going to take advantage of it. Here comes Velvet. Going to come down, interrupt that Man-B channel, and try to relieve some of this pressure and just abuse this Kel'Thas Stitches Malfurion wave clear. Ana, though, stacking the darts, already up to 3 stacks, needs to get to 10 before you get the piercing E, but the big one is getting the piercing Q after 20.
Yeah, I think Velvet on that Hanzo, like we said before, interesting pick, but he's going to be great for rotating down and getting potential pickoffs of Malthael as we see him going again.
And he did go with that that explosive arrows talent that will give him some wave clear, so we might see that switch occur. We'll see, but still, I mean, they don't even really need anyone extra help for the wave clear up in the top, though they could use it to be able to get a pick-off rotation.
Yeah, they seem really hungry for a kill this early.
Yeah, they've been trying to land it. That time the combo misses just a little bit, but I don't think they would have been able to get the kill on Uther either way. Now, at this point, you know, they're a little bit behind in gem count. There's going to be 50 gems total for Red here in just a second next time they pick up a gem. But it's going to come down to who can get the turn-ins, and that's where Malfurion can really shine, poking out with the Moonfire. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
this
got
match
super low in the bot. Sorry.
No, yeah, he did. No, this is definitely a matchup post 10. It's gonna be very exciting to watch.
It is. As FPS Nate comes down and scares Velvet away, says, "There's more than one archer in this game, sir."
Oh, and he got caught out alone. He's not gonna make it this time.
Uther goes down. Uther was soaking that wave mid, but not the best target. Now, it should be noted, Uther went stun build here, trying to take advantage of having that second support. That's going to be interesting, though, because if they can actually get a good CC combo, they can really chunk a hero down with that extra stun time. It'll be interesting to see if he goes Divine Storm at 10, rather than going for the Holy Cow Mosh.
Yeah, well, and you can even see Arthas went ahead and took Death Lord.
Great dodge there by FPS Nate. Is he going to get behind the wall? He is. What a nice escape there by FPS Nate.
But yeah, it did look like Arthas went Death Lord, which is going to help his Death Coil, so I think he's hoping to poke out more in that solo lane, and he definitely built into it even with that 7 talent.
And that's an interesting talent build. I haven't seen it as much lately. I've mostly been seeing the Frost build. It seems like they're maybe trying to get just a little bit of extra self-sustain there for Arthas, so he can kind of be the primary tank and allow Stitches to go into this kind of bruisery slam build that we're seeing and actually really focus on damage as Hanzo not get out of that one.
No, definitely not.
Just like Overwatch, my Hanzo's in the middle of the enemy team dying. RollOne would appreciate that joke.
I'm excited to see some Genji Hanzo comps in the future as well. I love talking about the Shitmata brothers.
Shitmata brother. Ooh, sad. Now in a little bit of a scary spot. Should be able to get away. Does in fact do so. Some CC there onto Ace, but not really getting it. But both teams with 1 kill. But despite the slight XP lead, Blue not able to get their gems in. This is going to be a Web Weaver phase for Lurk Patrol. Now, these Web Weavers are a lot stronger now than they used to be because of the early game changes.
Yeah, especially with no ammo on the towers and everything like that. Even that whole beginning phase, laning is so much more important.
Yeah, and without that secondary tower, I mean, you can do a lot of damage already. We have a quest completed for Kel'Thas, the Joy of Regen Globes quest, but bottom gonna lose about half its health, maybe more. Here comes Velvet, trying to clean up these minions, but the fort is almost certainly going down, and there it goes here. So but still XP even, despite the fort loss. And the fact that XP's even, and the fact that they have gems to turn in, I think this favors RollOne as they get 10 ever so slightly before. There's the Gorge. There's the Twilight Dream. I would still expect to see Phoenix. I don't know. Ace really wants to stop this turn-in. And there's the Gorge. Uther in a bit of trouble. There comes the Root with the stun from Hanzo. And, well, at least he can heal for a little bit. Hey, team, come back. Let me heal you.
They did get those bruisers, though. That's going to help tremendously keeping them at bay if they move up with it, but they chose to let it die. That
Look
new
at Arthas'
spell
ultimate.
armor.
Look at the Arthas ultimate.
I'm going to complain for a second here, because as a Sylvanas main, when I play with an Arthas who chooses that ult, when I do the same thing, I hate it.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, in this situation, I love the choice. It's a range CC that's going to allow Stitches to potentially land an easy hook on a slowed target, and then that could turn into a Gorge getaway. Or if you get a Gorge, you can Syndragosa to enable the getaway. Or, you know, this is a siege map. Just Syndragosa top keep right here and push up into it. That is an option. Now, they're going to have to deal with a back flank here from Lurk Patrol. Lurk Patrol trying to pincer them as Radic coming in. Now, Radic does have Mosh, and there is the Holy Cow combo ready, as is Nano Boost Souls. Now, there's a Gorge onto Mathael. Nano Boost did miss, but here comes Tormented Souls, and there's the Mosh. Gets immediately interrupted. D-Shield was used on Malthael rather than on ETC. We'll see if it works. Syndragosa comes in, trying to prolong the engagement. Malfurion, though, is the first to die, but this is just turning into a killing field. Now Stitches is down. Vala's down. Uther's down. Kael'thas is down. My goodness. Velvet gonna go down. A 5-man wipe. And, well, that was well executed.
Yes, and I will say, if just speaking about the Syndragosa, I think he waited much too long to use that. If he used that as soon as Stitches ate Malthael, they could have gotten some kills before he got back out of that again. I think that was a very incorrectly played way to use the ult.
And that was a big sellout in the top, and I agree with that. That was a big sellout in the top lane to try to get this keep, so much so that, yeah, they got wall mid, but they didn't even get wall bot. The fort in mid is still very healthy, and so what could have been much structurally more damaging, they sell out to try to get that top lane catapult advantage, and don't get it. Now, they're still pretty even on XP, but with all the gems now being turned in, this is pretty advantageous. Ooh, as there's the Gorge combo onto Uther. Power slide coming in. Oh, and what a great job by Radic. Can he get out? That's the question. Radic gonna get the D-Shield just to make sure he gets away and saving Private Uther.
Yeah, that was definitely a save from behind that wall. That would have been instant death.
Yeah, Radic really, really good awareness, trusting his teammate. Ace knowing where the D-Shield may need to come out. Now, maybe Radic had gotten away, but ultimately, when you're getting a Web Weaver phase, if you lose someone right before it starts, it really kills that momentum. So we'll see what they can do as Radic now scouting could get a big power slide here to initiate. There it is, getting the Mosh, hits Arthas, but immediately interrupted by Malfurion's Twilight Dream. Tormented Souls is blown, but with the wall there, not able to get as much value as they want. Syndragosa trying to slow things down. Zad gonna get behind the wall. Ooh, ETC is so low, and ETC is gonna be the first to drop. Mosh, Tormented Souls, all of it comes in 5v4, and still the fight is lost by Lurk Patrol.
That is how you use Syndragosa. That is the correct way to do it.
Very good Syndragosa.
When you see them come in, you use it and you get them trapped. That was perfect.
Fantastic Syndragosa to really prevent the hard engage that that Lurk Patrol wanted there. My question comes in, Lurk Patrol was forcing that engage really close to the tower, and they didn't get the power slide I think they needed out of the gate. They only hit the Arthas with it, and let's be honest, he is not the ideal blow-up target, especially when he's going this Death Coil build. But here comes the attempt. Root onto Malthael, but there's the double support coming in as Radic just being disruptive, not letting the engage come in clean. Really good defensive ETC play by Radic in a couple places.
Well, and if you notice too, in that top lane fight as well, Hanzo was clearing bottom, so I think they were just trying to be too aggressive, trying to take a 4v5, and not realizing necessarily they were under tower still.
And Bruiser's going to be picked up and maybe pushed with here in the middle. This could easily take mid-fort and start to swing the XP race back towards even. I like this decision down here in the bottom.
And they're going for boss.
yeah, they're going to go for boss here. Or at least they were scouting it. They see the siege camp picked up, and I don't know why they didn't start boss. There seems to be a bit of indecision here.
They're baiting. They
They
realized
could be
they waited
baiting,
too long.
but you have a Hanzo on the other team. So I think they either needed to start the boss, or...
I agree. I think they should have started it the second they got up there.
Now, the reason I like the decision take siege is that the bottom lane is the weakest lane right now for RollOne. As Zad getting power slid, there's the sleep, trying to get away. Good disengage with the Phoenix and the root, making sure Dad gets out of there. Although that is one ult blown, but a reasonably short cooldown and not a super team fight necessary ult.
And remember, those bruisers are a lot stronger than they used to be, so look how much they pushed that middle, even with no one contesting it. They still kept it pushed up to that fort.
Yeah, it did a decent... Well, that mid fort was already pretty weak.
It was already pretty low, yeah.
But now the siege giant's actually chunking bottom quite a bit. And here comes the rotation, and it looks like they want to force this 16 advantage that they have. Now, Stitches did not go into Fishing Hook, which maybe would have allowed an engage here that they can't now get. They are going to get bottom fort, though, but Stitch is going with that Pulverize, trying to really chunk out the damage. As we take a look, Stitch is already doing quite a bit of damage, nearly keeping up with Hanzo.
Yeah, Stitch's slam build is very underrated.
I go quite a bit, and I am open to us trying it. I've been working on my Stitch, but with that,
hey, you have to land hooks too. Remember?
I know. No, I really. Yeah, no, it's a hero I've been working on, but we do have the turn in for blue. So now they're gonna go ahead and get this mid fort before Malf coming in with a big root, but really good discipline there, trying to make sure they get away. Now here comes the silence on to Malfail. My goodness. What a perfect Twilight Dream. Here comes the Mosh. Doesn't look like there's going to be an interrupt, but FPS Nate taking a lot of damage from that Hanzo. MJ Doom looked like he was the focus target, but they just did not get the kill. And what ooh, and there's the Gorge, and what was a 2 for 0 is now a 3 for 0.
I'll tell you what it was, too. If anybody watches that replay, if you just missed it, Zad had a perfect hook on Doom to save him from Malthael while they got that kill. It was beautiful.
It really was. It was a great helping hand. I was still gushing over the Twilight Dream, but now with a Web Weaver top, they're going to move straight onto this core, and I don't think Vala and Ana were prepared for that, as now the shields on the core starting to drop. Manby comes in, drops the Tormented Souls, but doesn't get the damage out you would really want with that. Instead gets turned around on very, very hard. Now trying to get onto Manby, trying to get the kill onto Big Beard. Manby doing everything he can. There's the ice block from Furion trying to stall this out. The core is down to 60%, but bodies start hitting the floor. Arthas goes down, Malfurion goes down. Velvet not going to get out of there either. And,
it was one of those situations where if they had a different comp, they probably could have ended, but with the 20 seconds left on Uther and ETC, I just don't think they had enough.
Yeah, it didn't really have good siege damage. Hanzo can at times be decent. He's not great, but Stitches, Arthas, Kael'thas, not really people you think about. And this is going to give a boss over to Lurk Patrol.
But this is nice, because even though they're taking the boss and they know that they might just get a fort from it, it definitely keeps them from bossing to an end without that top keep on Lurk Patrol's side.
Yeah. It's a good denial. They won't get as much value off it as they maybe would like. Once again, Siege Giants being picked up. I like that decision. You know, we're down. We know they're going boss. Let's get our bruisers in the lane. Force them to respond to that so they can't push with boss. Go ahead and get the Siege Giants. Keep protecting that kind of weak area of our bottom lane.
And it is doing very well, because if we ever get to another turn and they seem to kind of forgotten the objective of the map,
now
they've got some good push.
Ooh, this could be a dangerous engage here. There's the four-man mosh, but it gets interrupted by a gravity lapse from Kael'thas. There's a gorge onto ETC. Beef, it's what's for dinner, as ETC is pulled behind the wall and slowly dissolved. And now they have to be careful. You could see a Syndragosa here to force an engagement.
I don't know why he's not. It's killing me. He never uses it.
I think maybe they're saving it for an all-in push. They're going to have 20s here, and they're going to be able to Well, they're not going to be able to get web weavers.
No, neither of them have been. That's why I was mentioning neither of them have really been doing objective at this point anymore.
It's been a lot of team fighting this game, but that's just, I think, because they like us as casters and they just wanted to give us a fun game.
Well, and they, like I said, they both built for fighting. They didn't. They built for clearing the map, but they didn't really build for specifically doing that.
Now, this decision I do like. Go in, get the bruisers, and with that spell armor they give, you actually can, with the 20 that you're going to pick up very soon, you can pressure this mid keep and potentially take it out.
So good. That spell shield is amazing. I sat through just earlier today an ETC mosh with Falstad and Greymane and something else, and like they did no damage.
Hungry Stitches. Hungry Stitches alert. Sorry for the interrupt, but
eat them.
This could be very, very interesting.
Oh,
as there's the hook, there's the gorge, stun gonna happen. Ooh, but there's the hungry Stitches getting the ETC. Beef, it's what's for dinner. ETC once again separated from team. Ace now taking a lot of damage, getting some heals from Ana. Gonna be able to get away as ETC has to rotate back around. But there's the Cinder goes to the shutdown of the tower. Uther going to be the next to fall. ETC power sliding in. Big damage onto Big Beard by Malthael, who's now onto the back line. Arthas gonna be the next to drop, and the chase is on. And this Malthael could be very, very sticky. Trying to get the power slide, trying to give a jump point. There goes Malfurion. He's the next to fall. Velvet trying to slow this chase down. Just completely running away. Radic doing everything he can. Going to get the gravity lapse. Velvet going to get away, but it was a good defense there. A very good defense. By Lurk Patrol.
The troll minion that was hitting the wall the entire time as well. But yeah, Manbai definitely he got to 0 I think 3 times in that fight. But with that nano boost, man, he just instantly full health every single time.
And on a solo clearing catapults, or as I like to call it, the DB Smiley support experience. As now Malthael is coming up. The DB Smiley support in the Hero League experience, but only one keep still standing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Especially grand when it's a support Lucio doing it. Cracks me up.
Well, Ana wishes she had Lucio's wave clear.
They're hunting. Nope.
They are hunting for that pickoff. Now, the situation is Lurk Patrol is in the game so long as they can keep rotating and clearing the lanes. So at this point, this is why you're seeing RollOne trying to pressure up, trying to find that kill, because with one kill, they can end the game. But it's going to be a turn in here. Red Web Weaver is going to come down. Now, the mid Web Weaver, not going to do anything. It's just going to defend the core from the catapults mid. So
now, here's what you got to think about. Right after these Web Weavers are over, the boss is up.
Yep.
That's their win factor.
Yeah, so they are going to potentially push this top lane. Now, they're being a little bit sheepish. Because there's the Stitches. Ooh, there's a hook, but just a little bit of a miss. I think that should have been a hook. That could have been hit there by Zad. He did have vision. Radic moved in a straight line, but just a bit of miss. Now the sidewall is broken out. That's going to open up an ETC Power Slide Mosh opportunity. ETC did go Bolt of the Storm as well. Now Malthael has not picked his 20 talent. Can always choose to pick the 20 that keeps him alive. There's the Gorge combo onto Uther. Walking him back. Rest of the team getting zoned out by Malthael. But there's the Bolt Mosh. D-Storm, or D-Shield coming in. Holy cow, making sure it happens. Here comes the engage. Big Twilight Dream and the Syndra Ghost are trying to force the disengage. But Malthael is all over this back line as bodies just start hitting the floor. ETC, though, going to drop. Uther, did he take? Yes, he did. So Uther will actually come back. But having to back up now is Lurk Patrol. Hard to end the game with a Malthael. Vala can obviously damage for a bit. But bottom keep is actually down at the moment. Due to a Web
still
Weaver.
Without that 20.
Yeah, still without that 20 on Malthael at this point.
I don't know what the point is.
He could have gone the trailing E, but I think just wanting to hold on to that in case he dies. But at that point, you might as well just pick the talent. Everyone knows if you're holding it this long. You know, that was a big game-winning team fight. If Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think the trailing E would have won it for them just having that, because with that nano boost, you're just throwing them out and they're just there
Mhm.
that whole time. Like that would have been huge.
Now, it looks like Stitches once again gonna have Gorge potential. Also has Hungry Stitches to steal the boss. And here it comes. Ooh, but a little bit
Ooh.
early on the Gorge and gets the stun. And that's actually going to allow Malthael to turn this around. Stitches is going to drop. A little bit of a misplay there by Zed. As Manby now trying to hold the point. Everyone is just calling in comms. Die on the point. Die on the point. There's the D-Shield trying to hold it all the bit longer. But they're going to keep it. My goodness,
good.
RollOne manages to hold the point. That Kael'thas... He does not like to lose a point.
Definitely not. And
Oh,
that running with tops too, that holy silence.
my goodness. That was,
Oh, look at the ETC backdoor though.
ETC is going to backdoor the core. Only has 2 katas and doesn't have them up on the core yet, though. The boss is already on the core meanwhile. There's no way ETC wins this race. And it just seems like Lurk Patrol kind of decided they had lost this game and maybe were just having some fun there. Manby does manage to kill him at Furion, but I mean, they're going to lose their core here. And ETC hasn't even gotten the shields down yet. I mean, now there's a kata there, but...
I think it was one of those Hail Mary things of I have Katas coming in the bot lane, maybe if Malthael holds them off long enough, but GG
yeah.
either way, what a game.
That was a great game. A little bit confusing ending for me for Lurk Patrol. Um, I mean, they were not in a good situation by any means.
Right.
I guess the ETC was just maybe making the Hail Mary, like you said. But very balanced game. Much more balanced than our first series. Very exciting match. Lot of crazy combos.
Well, and a lot of new stuff, as you can see. Like Heroes has changed, NGS season has changed, the divisions have changed, so it's always nice to see starting off with some interesting shit instead of just sticking with a meta.
Yeah, and that's kind of the interesting thing about this season is we are now in a situation where I don't think anyone knows what the meta is for the first time in a while, and it's because we
Three
haven't
tank meta, I'm telling you.
3 tank meta. I better start playing tanks again then. But we're in a situation where we haven't had any pro play since kind of the end of November, early December with GCWC, and even that was played before the support nerf mostly, other than the playoff, but teams really didn't adjust to it. I I don't know. I'm still we haven't had any really pro play of any kind. We haven't had NGS play other than the Krampus Crucible, which let's be honest, that was not meta. I don't know, but we'll get set up here for game number 2, and we'll be right back.
Oh, that last boss fight, man. I did too, yeah. But that arrow, uh, Hanzo's arrow did it. It nailed Vala, and then she just exploded. That was, I think that's the only thing that happened to save them. I think if that missed, I definitely think Lurk Patrol would have probably taken it. What's next? Infernal Shrines? Okay. Yeah, well, and it'll be interesting to see if they bring that KT back, because he's really good on that map. Yeah, even Dad noticed it. That I got trigger happy on Gorge. Oh yeah, almost every time. Yeah, almost every time he moshed, he missed KT and he just gravity lapsed him.
All right. We are back here on the Nexus Gaming series, jumping into game number 2 on Infernal Shrines. RollOne Esports taking a very back and forth game number 1, winning that critical boss fight, going to the core, ending it, even though Lurk Patrol started picking them off one at a time. Boss OP. I guess all my Silver League teammates were. So, with that, what are your expectations here onto this map? Or, like, what do you want to see RollOne do to try to maintain the advantage, or Lurk Patrol to draw the series?
I would love to have Lurk Patrol draw the series, just because it's the beginning. I love to see those sort of little rivalries start to form. So when they face, other people, they like to say, "Oh, we beat them, they lost to them."
Mhm.
So I love to see 1v or 1-to-1 matchups in the beginning, especially. Just to show that our divisions, especially compared to last season, are so much more than what they used to be. Like it's amazing the spectrum of players and skills that we have. Like even though this is Division C or B, I mean, it's still it's not they're not. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's not.
Like
I believe the phrase is, "It's not shit or hots."
yeah. Well, and even the Div C teams, I watched the game earlier. Like, they're not Div C anymore either. It's not. It's now more competitive than it
Mhm.
definitely was. People want to get better, and people want to start to grow, especially as their teams and the community's grown so big now. It's such a good thing to see.
And speaking of growing, an immediate KT ban.
Yes.
That's a good choice. After all KT did to disrupt them in the last game, and I'm not just talking about the damage and the zone control, which are great on this map. Just his like MJ Doom played extraordinarily well, had great gravity lapses, just really helped carry his team. We have a Ragnaros.
Sylvanas!
Yeah. That is not true, Aura. I just fixed it during the break.
Oh, okay.
But
I just saw people posting about it.
but just as a note, people can see the whispers on stream. Anyway,
Well, I know, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
yeah. But we have a Ragnaros Sylvanas, so Lurk Patrol has been scouting one of the new team's scrims, I think.
Oh, they have been.
Apparently. I mean, there's been a team that's played a lot of Sylvanas and a little bit of Ragnaros. They have a really big sponsor who's helping them out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I bet he's giving them monitors and everything.
So anyway, now we have the Rhaegar Jaina. So I look left and I say, okay, this is a pretty typical Infernal Shrine draft. You have Diablo, you have Jaina. I look right and I see, this is a Sylvanas and Rag. It's strong, not what I would expect to see even in this current meta as the first two choices. So maybe Lurk Patrol breaking out a little bit of cheese.
I feel like they don't want to give away whatever they're planning on doing, and nothing is so important as to grab first. But again, this map specifically is very snowbally. With
Yeah.
somebody like Syl and Rag, you get one Punisher, you're gonna get the fort. If you don't get the
You'll
fort,
get
you're
the
doing
keep wall.
something wrong. Yeah, you'll get the keep
keep
wall.
I mean, with the first Punisher, unless you make a misplay or the enemy team puts on an amazing defense, you will get keep wall with the Sylvanas. And it's part of removing that second tower has been particularly damaging on this map. So we'll see how RollOne seeks to defend that. They are banning the Lucio. Now I have a suspicion, and that suspicion was just shattered. So never mind.
This is interesting.
Kerrigan Diva.
That means they're going to one tank or they're not going to have a healer.
Yeah, they have a Diva tank. Although Kerrigan can do the engage, you don't have reliable CC. Unless you go
Diva
into
could
Uther?
just knock it out.
What is their support? Need something with a little bit of CC.
Well, and you gotta remember too, the way Diva's played, she's one of those weird range tanks. Like,
right.
And when she comes out, she becomes a ranged sort of assassin, not really a tank anymore.
Yeah. Well, what are these two choices? I mean, I look right and I'm not sure what is. Kooks is broadcasting some interesting information to the world. Don't look bottom right, people. But Hanzo Alarak. Okay, this is something that Dadforce did with the Diablo Alarak. Now they used to do a Alex Strasza. This is
I don't know what to say right now.
I think I'm missing something, and I have no clue what it is. Like,
this will be fun. Let's just. I don't think there's any predicting here.
yeah. So what I would say is I have played against Dadforce's, which was the previous iteration of this. Dadforce's Diablo Alarak, and it is not fun. If I had an Uther, I wouldn't be so worried. Rhaegar is good in that role, not Uther in that role. So watch for very, very, very aggressive rotations on the left side.
Well, and
on the right side, I'm missing something. I have to be missing something.
Yeah, because even for them to go into Alex, they're gonna set themselves up for a lot of shit with Jaina, Diablo, Hanzo. Like, they're gonna be grouping for those heals, and if
into a Jaina, into an Alarak, into APOC. I'm just gonna do my best Mulder impression. I want to believe. I want to believe I'm missing something, but we'll see if we are here on game number 2 on Infernal Shrines as we jump straight into it. We're gonna have MJ Doom on the mage again with Jaina. Zad gonna be on Diablo Toffs, going to be on Rhaegar. Big Beard gonna be on Alarak, and Hanzo gonna be played by Velvet.
And we got Radic on Kerrigan, who played our ETC last game, so that should be pretty interesting. Manbai on Ragnaros, Ace on my favorite Sylvanas, FPS Nate on Diva, and Ektar on the interesting Alex.
Don't help other teams scout us. Anyway.
I'm sorry, they already know.
So, already, no interest at all in a mid-fight on the side of RollOne. Hanzo going up to the top lane. Good scouting arrow just to prevent the Kerrigan engage. Ooh, a little bit of a missed Kerrigan combo. That could have killed Diablo, but the impaling spikes just barely misses. Still though, Alex Strasza getting value with that heal. As we look at the talents, Alex Strasza going into that live and let live. It's going to be very critical for Alex Strasza not to take poke damage. And it's going to therefore be Hanzo's job to make that happen.
Right. Well, on the side of Lurk Patrol, again, with their interesting comp, they do have some great zoning potential as the game goes on. And on a map like this, zoning is huge on that point. So we'll definitely see how they plan to work it out with their comp.
Yeah,
Like,
and
the smart part of it.
Ooh, Alarak in a little bit of an awkward spot does get the silence onto Kerrigan, and that was the best target to silence. Now Radek in a little bit of an awkward spot, but Zad just saying, like, Kerrigan, that's your side of the map. Here, let me help you get back over there. Big Bear taking a lot of damage, drops below 150 health. FPS Nate trying to sell out, but gonna back off, not get the kill. Meanwhile, though, Rag doing well in the top lane. Until level 4, Hanzo is just not gonna be able to compete there.
Yeah, and Rag did go for that Sulfurous quest, so he definitely wants to be killing all those minions because that will.
Ooh, they got the Kerrigan combo on the Zad. Zad had 12 health. And Diva. Great choice by FPS Nate to target the tower and let the cleave get Diablo. And that's the first kill on Diablo. And as the souls build up, it's going to be harder to get that with the Kerrigan, especially after level 7. See what they can do.
Yeah, and they're definitely doing a great job. They were rotating before. But
good Kerrigan combo
even without
again.
that.
Yeah, they've had really good lane rotations. We now see Alarak shift up into the top lane to contest this Ragnaros. Hanzo was just not holding up there.
I do think that's the better switch, though.
It can be. The one issue is Rag actually has really good poke and can still trade reasonably well because he can pre-hit his Q to get the self-sustain on the backside of the silence. But a fight now breaking out in bottom over this siege camp, and Diablo gonna go down again. So, you know, this zoning potential really paying off so far for Lurk Patrol.
Yeah, and I'll definitely say, I believe it was season 2. My first introduction to NGS. One of the first games I believe was against Zad's Diablo, and that was not a fun time. So seeing him being the first 2 early kills is rough, and I really hope to see him bring out that scary Diablo that I know from days past.
And already a big shrine lead, 24-0. Kerrigan and Ragnaros and Sylvanas. That is hard to compete on the shrine with. And Diva wasn't even down there.
If we're being truthful, Kerrigan could just do it by themselves while the rest of them fight, so...
Diva trying to go in now. Diva does not have the self-destruct yet. Now there's a silence from Alarak, but a huge Kerrigan combo hits Zag and Alarak. That Diva charge almost ready, trying to get the trade onto Zad. Zad gonna go down for the 3rd time this game. They are just picking on Diablo as the Punisher with the Sylvanas starts to break down the wall, almost breaks down Velvet. Radek barely missing that combo, but Toffs gonna taste some Sulfurous.
Yeah, this is definitely a rough start, again, like we said. Well, I don't know if I said it, but the obviousness of Sylvanas, especially on maps like this, hugely impactful. As you can see, the Punisher's not even half, and they're at the keep wall right now, as we spoke about at the beginning.
It's going to be very strong. I mean, this is a very early game comp on the side of Lurk Patrol, and they are getting everything they could ask for in this early game. And even now, Diva does have her self-destruct ready if they need to get away. So they're very easily going to take this keep 5 minutes into the game. And now, actually, Toff's in a really bad spot. John Cena almost killing Rhaegar. Ooh, there's the charge. Diva managing to get the kill onto Rhaegar, and there's the self-destruct, and now they turn their attention to a 5.5-minute core using Ragnaros. This core's down to 40%. This core's down to 30. Diablo goes down once again. The core's down to 20. Here come the ultimates trying to get the kill. It's going to drop. Wow.
What a game. And again, talking about that shit that we don't know, Lurk Patrol, way to tie it up. Like, that was absolutely amazing. Amazing. They definitely knew something we didn't know.
Sorry, I'm just showing my face on stream for a second. Wow. Oh my, like
Wow. That was
I think
beautifully
we're okay with
played.
interviewing Lurk Patrol after this game. Are we?
I mean, I'm good for it. Yeah.
All right. Let me let them know this. I'm gonna pull the stats up here, and I need to take a minute because wow, that was
Intense.
an early game. If I can give me just one sec. Go ahead and share your thoughts on this while I get this interview.
Well, they definitely had that sort of advantage of, again, they had great zoning. But again, on this map, it's so snowbally. So if you have that comp that could just take the shrine and push with somebody like Sylvanas and Rag to be able to just uh, molten core, you have huge advantage. And again, that Punisher got to the keep wall, and it was an arcane Punisher, which is the best of the three. It gets to the wall, takes it down, and then after the keep is pretty much down, it's at half health. So to have the balls to take it at 5 minutes is just fantastic.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that was a very early game comp, and I'm surprised I didn't key on that in draft. I think that may be. I'm worried, by the way, that's what HGC is going to look like because of just how snowbally the game is at the moment. And
Yeah, well,
we
and
we
I
managed to
definitely.
avoid that in game one. Now that was a very niche comp, but even still, the Punisher is where the first Punisher used to get front wall. These days, first Punisher is getting fort more often than not, if not more. And it was great by Lurk Patrol to key in on that potential and build that really early game comp, get the XP lead, get 7 first, so you can easily win the shrine, have an incredible shrine control comp, and they snowball from there. But with that, we're gonna jump up to lobby 3 for a post game.
Happens.
That was a
Hey there.
meme.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
So first we'll
What
do
the
a
fuck?
yeah. Well, let's hang on. We're still breathing. Let's do just first with seventh ace here. As as we talk about it, you I talked to you before the game, and you said, and I believe the phrase was quote "NA lol drafts."
that is
Um,
exactly it.
was this one of those drafts here on Infernal Shrines?
Absolutely. Although we didn't have it planned before we started when I picked the map. I just like Infernal Shrines is a neat map. And you can do neat things on it. And suddenly we're like, well, the game's pretty snowbally. And they took our Diablo pick, so we're gonna go Rag. We said we can use Diva for shrine control, and all of a sudden this comp materialized, which was pretty cheesy.
So the intent really was to build like a very, very early game comp and to then just get first Punisher and Snowball? Or was it just
The original plan was Diablo, Kerrigan, Sylvanas, because we had somebody who wanted to play Kerrigan, and we had somebody to go with Diablo. So that was the plan, and then use that to take the Punisher and take control. But the original intent was not quite that cheesy.
Alright. Or any questions about game number 2 specifically?
Specifically, what you guys drafted, and we were like, what is the idea? What are they planning? Because with that Diva pick, I know she's really good for shrine control, but what were your other options? Like once you got down and realized you needed a healer, like did you think you were screwed, or were you like, no, we got this?
No, Alex was a plan all along.
Okay.
She's great on shrines, and Ektar is a pretty solid Q build Alex Straza player. So you're like, we'll take that. She's great on top of the shrines. We'll play aggressively into it and see how it goes.
Very nice.
Alright, so taking a
No.
step back to game number 1 here, then. We're looking at that Tomb of the Spider Queen game, and you guys go for the boss up in the top, and manage not to hold on to it. Were you just relying on having the Tormented Souls and the Divine Shield to kind of hold that point, or did you honestly not expect RollOne to kind of walk up and contest that?
Oh, we knew they were going to contest. It just didn't hold out as long as it needed to. If it held out 2 more seconds and Diablo went down, I would have had a cooldown available for healing, and it would have been fine. Or if I even went down first, I could have used my trait. So a little bit of misplays on my end could have led that more in our favor. But it was our best call because I knew they had the momentum. They were winning more of the team fight, so I wanted to take the boss, take the and try and snowball our win at the top keep and push it into the core right there as we had an ETC respawning.
Yeah, it seemed you guys had a lot of difficulty engaging. You know, you would get like a 3-man mosh, but there would always be someone with the interrupt on the outside. You would get, you know, a good tormented souls off, but then the Twilight Dream would come in. And you had a couple good engagements. Is there anything in draft maybe you would have changed in hindsight, or is it just you felt that you just got out executed some of those teams?
I think his execution. Toffs played a really fantastic Malfurion that game, and who was it? MJ Doom on Kel'Thas was constantly not getting stuck in those moshes. And so one of them got the interrupt every time, except the one fight up where we got both keeps with the web weavers because I got my divine shield off. There's the previous fight right before. Divine shield was about 10 pixels out of range because of a Malfurion root. So it was a perfect section off, and it ended up that ETC blew up. But so they executed that really well, the counter engage. But the one time it did work, it worked out really well. Took a great fight, even under a keep and everything. But we knew with the cooldowns we had, 120 seconds on Mosh, we weren't able to. We weren't going to be up in time to do it again. So we had to go for that boss.
Are any more questions for Ace?
Just in that first game, what was the plan for at the very end? You had Malthael trying to stall, and you decided to have ETC to go to core. Were you just hoping that Malthael would stall them out long enough to get those katas to push, or?
Yep, because there's no way we were killing that boss before it got to core. Right. So we were deciding, well, the best chance we have is those 2 catapults in bottom
Hail
lane.
Mary.
And hopefully we could bring the Winions to victory, but didn't quite work. Only got half the core dead, but that's better than none of the core dead, and it made for a little fun race at the end.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we also actually have Velvet in the channel. Velvet, I know that second game didn't go particularly well. So let's focus on that first game. Is that what were your comms like on those engagements? Were they frantic? Were they calm? I mean, it seemed like every time Lurk Patrol got in with the mosh, one of you got the interrupt. It seems like every time there's a tormented soul, there was a counter to it. It seems like every time, you know, someone kind of got picked out and targeted, there was like a helping hook or something. I mean, you know, overall, a very well executed game. Kind of what were comms like at that point?
Super chill. We've practiced that comp for over a month against. We've been scrimming weekly against a Div C team actually, FML. Okay. And they run a lot of ETC. They run Sonya's. They run like in your face divers. So we've executed that comp a few times, and
yeah, the coordination was like definitely there with the Stitches Malfurion route. I mean, it was very good. If it weren't for the double support, you would have had like 4 kills in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it was good. The pressure wasn't like there was no real pressure for execution from the comp itself. We had some misplays that happened, of course, because that happens every game. So
right.
But yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, MJ Doom played amazing in that first game, but in that second game, got to give a hat off to Radic. Had really good Kerrigan combos, as well as you know, the Diva play. I thought was very
honestly.
Well
we can boil down second game to one mistake, and that was bottom camp, and that was it. If we had not stayed for bottom camp, we could have stopped the snowball a little better. And if they don't, their comp was all in or nothing. If they don't take the first objective. If they don't take the first objective, we can win the game. If they take the first objective, our chance of winning goes down to like 5%.
Right.
So we knew as soon as they took the first Punisher that it was pretty rough. Like we had no chance of winning. So.
Well, it does come out as a draw, which I mean, both the
Still good.
teams had some eyeballs on them heading into the season. I mean, RollOne, you guys were really bad last season. You had one just terrible player. I mean, fucking horrible. And it seems that now that you've gotten rid of that cancerous toad, that now you guys are playing a lot better. What do you have anything to add to that?
All I can say is the baggage is well worth shedding, and we feel much better now that we've got our group of friends that are much more trustworthy.
Glad to hear that. Well, with that, I mean, honestly, the first game was just a pleasure to cast. Second game was also a pleasure to cast, just a different kind of pleasure.
It was more of not talk casting.
Yeah. It was just I think I had that look on my face for like 20 seconds after the game ended. But with
Don't
that,
worry, I got a screen cap.
just
Beautiful.
One same question to both of you, one at a time. Let's start with Ace. Ace, what are the goals for the team this season?
We're here just to have a whole bunch of fun with some of the comps. We had a great time. We were laughing at the end of the game one, as the fight comes down to slivers of health bars.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, that was a heck of a game, and I had a great time with it, and that's all that matters. We're not here to take it super seriously. We're not running official practices. We're just popping on as friends and having a coordinated game twice a week with a really cool league. That's the goal. If we had fun, it's great.
Awesome. So you guys are going to finish last. Anyway.
Last
joking.
place. Did
I'm
you
joking.
see that?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Come at me, DB Smiley. When do we play?
Yeah, let's go.
I don't know yet. Velvet, same question. What are your guys' goals for this season?
Pretty similar, except maybe we're taking it a little more seriously, probably. We just want to have a lot of fun. Last season was really stressful and not fun. So we're just looking to have a lot of fun. Most of us have been playing together for years, and we just enjoy the games every week. And then we're looking to improve. A lot of us have role swapped for this season, and we're all learning new things and enjoying it. So I'm loving Hanzo, man. It's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say Velvet Hanzo main.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Please switch.
we don't draft him that often, honestly. This is just weird
Only
that we drafted
100%
him
of
twice.
the time.
I feel your pain.
Only now, yeah.
All right.
NGS official scouting report trademark.
Yay.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna bring this set to a close. Thanks, guys, for for just the really fun game to watch. It was a great start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
This will conclude the first day of season 3 of Nexus Gaming Series, presumably Bahamut Gaming Series is. Stay tuned though, because there's going to be in the neighborhood of 300 games. So there's a lot to watch. Still a lot more casting to be done. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching Nexus Gaming Series. Check us out at nexusgamingseries.com. There you can find the link to the Discord. Right now, of course, the Season 3 signups are closed because we're in Season 3 at the moment. But, it's good to get in now if you are looking at joining in Season 4. Aura, I want to thank you for casting with me. Do you have any shout-outs or want to give any 411?
I mean, watch out. We're casting mates now, both me, DB, and Smithel, and we're coming for you.
This is just our way of scouting.
Yes,
It's all a
we're
ruse.
all
You
in
let
the
us into your
background.
games. But with that, had a lot of fun. Aura, thanks again. Always a pleasure to cast with. You can check me out at twitch.tv/tbsmiley, which you could probably figure out, because if you're watching this right now, you're probably at twitch.tv/tbsmiley. Also at twitter.com/deathbysmiley. Check out the Nexus Gaming Series. We'll see you next time.